Hey everyone, welcome back. So I spent some time in the hinterlands doing some things, getting my horse mount and such, discovering camps and closing some rifts in order to make sure I could get some power. As you can see at the bottom right, I've got 9 power so that we could progress through the story. Because I have a suspicion that some of the things that I want to use in terms of mods and such are just simply not going to be there or available until we progress to a certain point in the story, such as, for example, being able to have a ton of money from that mod and being able to access the shops in Royeaux, for example, because I'm trying to remember if some of those are actually able to have things that I either want, need, or got from the mods, and I can be able to take advantage of them now because I've got lots of money. So, anyways. Plus, we'll be able to also then get access to other areas of importance. So let's go ahead and unlock Royeaux. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. Plus, we'll also be able to start getting access to other companions in the group. The remaining Chantry clerics have declared the Inquisition heretical. Attempts to gather allies against the breach have been rebuffed, and at this moment we could not step foot into the capital without being attacked by a mob or arrested. We must convince the Chantry to permit us entry to the city so we can show them the Herald of Andraste is not the monster that they believe.
Having the Herald address the clerics is not a terrible idea.
You can't be serious.
Mother Giselle isn't wrong. At the moment, the Chantry's only strength is that they are united in opinion.
And we should ignore the danger to the Herald.
Let's ask her.
What can they do is just talk.
Don't underestimate the power of their words. An angry mob will do you in just as quickly as a blade.
I will go with her. Mother Giselle said she could provide us names. Use them.
But why? This is nothing but a...
What choice do we have, Liliana? Right now, we can't approach anyone for help with the breach. Use what influence we have to call the clerics together. Once they are ready, we will see this through.
What I find funny about this is that they're saying that there's a level recommendation for this, even though there's really no gameplay in this actual mission here. We're going to Royeaux, and it's going to be some story stuff. And then it's going to unlock some things.
The city still mourns.
Just a guess, Seeker, but I think they all know who we are.
Your skills of observation never fail to impress me, Varric.
My Lady Herald!
You're one of Leliana's people. What have you found?
The Chantry mothers await you, but so do a great many Templars.
There are Templars here?
People seem to think the Templars will protect them from the Inquisition. They're gathering on the other side of the market. I think that's where the Templars intend to meet you.
Only one thing to do, then. They wish to protect the people? From us?
Protect them from the blasphemous Herald of Andraste, I'd say.
Surely they cannot think such a thing.
Why not? They wouldn't be the only ones.
You think the Order's returned to the fold, maybe? To deal with us upstarts?
I know Lord Seeker Lucius. I can't imagine him coming to the Chantry's defense. Not after all that's occurred. Return to Haven. Someone will need to inform them if we are delayed.
As you say, my lady.
Number of little extra things here, but they don't really give you anything except XP. And there are some shops here, as I mentioned, but they don't really want you to do any shopping until after what's about to happen. So we can't really go around and do that until we do this. So let's just go ahead and move forward and progress the story.
Good people of Val Royeaux, hear me. Together, we mourn our divine. A naive and beautiful heart, silenced by treachery. You wonder what will become of a murderer. Well, wonder no more. Behold, the so-called Herald of Andraste, claiming to rise where our beloved fell. We say this is a false prophet, a wicked Kunari sent to subvert the Maker's word.
By the way, did you caught that while she's giving this little, like, oh, we mourn for her, she also called her naive. Little shot there at how she probably wanted to bring her down and also make herself look better. Even probably put herself forward as, hey, I could be the next divine, maybe.
I make no such claim. I wasn't sent here by Andraste or the Maker. I am simply trying to close the breach. It threatens us all.
It's true. The Inquisition seeks only to end this madness before it is too late.
It is already too late. The Templars have returned to the Chantry. They will face this Inquisition, and the people will be safe once more.
Yeah, about that.
Still yourself. She is beneath us.
Remember him for later.
You're not here to deal with the Inquisition?
As if there were any reason to.
Lord Seeker Lucius, it's imperative that we speak with...
You will not address me.
Lord Seeker?
Creating a heretical movement. Raising up a puppet as Andraste's prophet. You should be ashamed. You should all be ashamed. The Templars failed no one when they left the Chantry to purge the mages. You are the ones who have failed. You who'd leash our righteous swords with doubt and fear. If you came to appeal to the Chantry, you are too late. The only destiny here that demands respect is mine.
Uh-huh.
Templars, one of your own commands the Inquisition's forces. Join us as he did.
You're a mage. Your ties are worthless. They're all made traitors just by being in your company.
But Lord Seeker, what if she really was sent by the Maker? What if...
You are called to a higher purpose. Do not question.
I will make the Templar Order a power that stands alone against the Void. We deserve recognition. Independence. You have shown me nothing, and the Inquisition, less than nothing. Templars, Val Royeaux is unworthy of our protection. We march.
Charming fellow, isn't he?
Has Lord Seeker Lucius gone mad?
Do you know him very well?
He took over the Seekers of Truth 2 years ago, after Lord Seeker Lambert's death. He was always a decent man, never given to ambition and grandstanding. This is very bizarre.
Do you think he can be reasoned with?
I hope so. If not him, there are surely others in the Order who don't feel as he does. Either way, we should first return to Haven and inform the others.
Excuse me, but is what they're saying real? The Inquisition's going to fix the hole in the sky?
I'm going to give it a try, at least.
No one is doing anything. The Chantry's useless, and the Templars... Andraste. I never thought they'd abandon us. Listen, your camp will need food. I have contacts. We'll have deliveries there in days.
You want to help the Inquisition?
Never been part of something this big before, but if your Inquisition's going to seal the sky, I want to help.
What do you think, Cassandra?
I think the woman is asking you and not me.
Well, she is.
The Herald of Andraste. Yes, I understand. Haven is a mess, but we won't turn away anyone willing to help. Invite her, if it pleases you.
Head to Haven, then. We need good people.
I don't know if I'm that, but it will be nice to see. Thank you.
More power and an agent.
This victory must please you greatly, Seeker Cassandra.
We came here seeking only to speak with the mothers. This is not our doing, but yours.
And you had no part in forcing our hand? Do not delude yourself. Now we have been shown up by our own Templars, in front of everyone. And my fellow clerics have scattered to the wind along with their convictions. Just tell me one thing. If you do not believe you are the Maker's chosen, then what are you?
Someone who can help close the breach and end this madness.
That is more comforting than you might imagine. I suppose it is out of our hands now. We shall all see what the Maker plans in the days to come.
You're obviously skeptical. What do you believe I am?
Our divine. Her holiness is dead. I have seen evidence for everything, except what would comfort me.
That doesn't answer my question.
For you to be true, a great many things must be false. And if you are false, a great many things must have failed. There is chaos ahead, whatever your intentions.
So what happens now? Will the Chantry continue to denounce me?
We have already done so. And what good has it done us? Now it falls on us to select a new divine, if we can. And leave the next step to her.
Provided such a selection is even possible.
I truly don't know. Any revered mother who could have followed Justinia died at the Conclave. What becomes of us, and your Inquisition, is in the Maker's hands now.
Of course, just once again to reiterate, you're even hearing it from her, is that they're basically not doing anything until they decide to name a new divine, because they apparently are incapable of deciding to do anything when it comes to the Chantry's power and resources, unless they actually have a divine to tell them what to do. By the way, I also find it amusing. You remember how she got hit in the back of the head? And yet she's holding her stomach like, oh, my stomach. It's like, you were hit. You should have your hand like on the back of your head or your neck. Isn't that where it should be? That's where you got hit.
Where is the Lord Seeker taking the Templars?
I can't begin to guess the Lord Seeker's mind. He could not have abandoned his intended role more completely.
There must be sense to what we can't see.
Must there? Rebellion seems popular in certain quarters, doesn't it, Seeker? Is crafting the Templars into a new power really any worse than declaring a rival to the Chantry itself?
By the way, just as a reminder, we are going after the Templars. Just reminding you guys. I've shown you guys what happens when we side with the mages. I'll show you what happens when, for not only this part of the game, but also later on, because it affects what happens later on through the rest of the game. Remember, when we sided with the mages, we ended up having to deal with the Red Templars, and Samson and his Red Templar armor working on behalf of the bad guys and the bad guy throughout basically a good chunk of the rest of the story. So now you'll see what happens when it's the other way around, when we gain the Templars and we have to deal with the mages as opponents for the rest of the game.
How are people responding to all this?
Despair. Fear. We mourn Her Holiness. The people look to the sky and wonder how long before terror comes for us all. There must be a way through this. Is it you? The Templars? The Maker's will? We abandoned our duties. We servants of the faith. Now we can only pray.
Where is the Lord Seeker taking the Templars?
I can't begin to get... He's crafting the Templars into a new power.
What were you hoping the Lord Seeker would do, exactly?
Put aside his war against the mages and find common purpose against something much more dire. Obviously, he has other plans. With the knights vigilant slain at the Conclave, there is nothing more we can do.
Perhaps there is something we can do.
I'd like to believe that, Seeker. I truly would. I suppose we can expect renewed effort against the mages from him, and yet more chaos.
How many Templars turned on the Chantry, exactly?
They rebelled across Thedas. Some remained loyal, but not enough to call them the Order. The White Spire here in the capital was the largest garrison, but now it stands empty. Perhaps more shall flock to the Lord Seeker's banner now. How far has faith waned, I wonder?
You know, I find myself wondering what would have happened if Gregor from Origins had made to this point. Remember, in when we did our alternate run in Origins and we sided with the Templars, and remember, Gregor was the Knight Commander in charge of the tower in Ferelden. The epilogue for Origins said that later on he passed away and Cullen ended up taking command. Now, keep in mind, that epilogue was made before they were told they had to continue the series, because they made that epilogue with the intention that there would be no sequels. So obviously retcons and such happened, and as far as I know, Gregor, that's never been changed, as far as I know, because Gregor has not shown up after Origin, so I would assume either he is nowhere to be found, or he actually did pass away at this point. I find myself wondering, if Gregor was here, like, being at because at this point he would without question be one of the more highly respected Templars of all of them because of what happened in Origins at the Mage Tower and such, and as well as having helped with the hero Ferelden and such. You get the idea. He would be highly respected amongst all the Templars. What would his influence be here? Like, how would he respond to all this? Would he be more willing to aid the Inquisition and stuff like that? It's just something I've got on my mind about that.
It's not too late. The Chantry could still help us and come out on top.
If only that were true.
What's to stop you from trying?
We are not looking for a winning horse. We are simply trying to do the right thing.
Even if it means we all die, at least we did the right thing. I mean, that's not exactly an old or uncommon mentality, right? That's usually what some will usually resort to or say. It's like, it's okay if we all die, because at least we did the right thing. So here is where the arrow should show up.
What's that? An arrow with a message?
Who will fetch their Templars back?
And yes, this is the little note up from Red Jenny, aka Sarah.
It seems change is on the wind. I wish your leaders well.
The Templars.
Templars didn't even...
Know my heart. Take from me a life of sorrow. Comfort is only yours to give. Oh, Maker, where is the comfort? Have you come to scavenge now that the divine lies cold? Whisper your Kyun against the chant? Leave me. My emptiness will not be borne by you. Maker, show me the light.
Just a reminder to the common person, they don't know the difference between a Kunari, as in a loyal follower of the Kyun.
You are the Herald of Andraste, are you not? I have an invitation for you.
And a Tal Vashath. They don't know any difference at all.
You are the Herald of Andraste, are you not? I have an invitation for you.
You are cordially invited to attend my salon held at the Chateau of Duc Bastion de Ghislaine. Yours, Vivienne de Fer, first enchanter of Montsamard, enchanter to the Imperial Court. Vivienne... she's a mixed bag for me. Like, there are moments where I actually like Vivienne, and then there are moments where I just get... she really annoys me. You're probably also noticing here that a lot of these things are very, very cheap. It's like, yeah, I get tons of money and everything is absurdly cheap. Lots and lots of schematics. But yeah, this was something else I was curious about. Oh, wait, I triggered this cutscene. I did not mean to do that. I'm sorry.
If I might have a moment of your time.
Grand Enchanter Fiona?
Leader of the Mage Rebellion. Is it not dangerous for you to be here?
I heard of this gathering, and I wanted to see the fabled Herald of Andraste with my own eyes. If it's help with the breach you seek, perhaps you should look among your fellow mages.
I'm surprised the leader of the mages wasn't at the conclave.
Yes. You were supposed to be, and yet somehow you avoided death.
As did the Lord Seeker, you'll note. Both of us sent negotiators in our stead in case it was a trap. I won't pretend I'm not glad to live. I lost many dear friends that day. It disgusts me to think the Templars will get away with it. I'm hoping you won't let them.
So you think the Templars are responsible?
Why wouldn't she?
Lucius hardly seems broken up over his losses, if he's concerned about them at all. You heard him. You think he wouldn't happily kill the Divine to turn people against us? So yes, I think he did it. More than I think you did it, at any rate.
And what do you want in exchange for the mage's help?
Oh, I haven't promised the Inquisition our help yet. Consider this an invitation to Redcliffe. Come, meet with the mages. An alliance could help us both, after all. I hope to see you there. Au revoir, my Lady Herald.
Come, let us return to Haven.
Not yet, Cassandra. I'm not done here in Royeaux. More schematics, very nice. Buy everything, I have the money.
Trust in the Maker. Fire is her water. As the moth sees light and goes toward flame, she should see fire and go toward light.
And this is why I was very much intent on getting a mod to let me be able to get as many of these resources as I could. Because as you can see, there's a lot of stuff to craft in this game. Lots of recipes for lots of crafting. The issue is, of course, getting the actual materials.
Open? Yes, as open as I can be. If you've a need for the well cut or the sparkling, perhaps I can.
Good day to you.
We maintain an Inquisition presence on Commander Cullen's order. This has been received as you might expect.
Same old.
Madame Snippy Snips. Or Snappy Snips. I was just like, this looks like the head of one of the dragons I have fought in the past.
Yes, thank you.
I think this is the merchant over here that'll actually let me get some of the things. Although I don't think everything is going to be available here because we haven't gotten to Skyhold yet. I believe normally these schematics would probably cost more if it wasn't for the mod I have that makes everything super cheap. Alright, now let's go to the... oh.
As the moth sees light and goes towards...
So I guess I should have gotten that arrow first before heading back over there to that area. Yeah, I want to go around and like interact with all these things because I'm getting free XP here. I'll let you guys know that I was actually tempted to, like, literally not recruit her, to be like, no, go away.
You were everything.
But I decided, no. I'll go ahead and bring her along. Since she's literally extra story content. Okay, so now, let's go see Sarah first, and then we'll go see Vivienne.
Herald of Andraste! How much did you expend to discover me? It must have weakened the Inquisition immeasurably.
I don't know who you are.
You don't fool me. I'm too important for this to be an accident. My efforts will survive in victories against you elsewhere.
Just say what?
What is that?
Ugh. Squishy one, but you heard me, right? Just say what? Rich tits always try for more than they deserve. Blah, blah, blah. Obey me. Arrow in my face. So, you followed the notes well enough. Glad to see you're well fit. Heard about your kind. Seeing's different. I mean, it's all good, isn't it? The important thing is you glow. You're the herald thingy.
I will say that there is one thing I do like about that little exchange right there. Her dialogue is different based on what your race is. If you're an elf, she'll say, and you're an elf. Ugh. Well, hopefully you're not too elfy. Now, I actually totally understand what she means by that because, well, we have seen how elves, especially Dalish elves, are throughout this run we've been doing, right? the Dalish elves in all 3 games, yeah, they tend to be a certain way. And Sarah is also just, ugh, I hope you're not like that. But that's if you're playing an elf. Obviously, if she was, it was a little different because I'm a Kunari, so...
You killed him before he could say who he worked for.
And before he could shout magic. What? My people said the Inquisition would want him dead. So he's dead.
Your people? Elves?
No. People. Name's Sarah. This is cover. Get round it. For the reinforcements. Don't worry. Someone tipped me their equipment shed. They've got no breaches.
Why didn't you take their weapons?
Because no breaches. Cheeky, yeah? Snuffed it. Friends really came through with that tip. No breaches. So, Herald of Andraste. You're a strange one. I'd like to join.
Maybe this is just something about me that I just don't really find that type of humor very appealing or amusing. I know that that is something that a lot of people really like, pranks and such. Look at them, they're not wearing pants, they're showing off their underwear, haha, lol, 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 you know, just... I get it, but at the same time, it's like, you know, that also could have gone a number of different ways pretty badly, you know, like... You'll notice the first thing the Inquisitor asked was, why didn't you just take their weapons? You know, because at that point, she has to be concerned not only for her own livelihood, but also the livelihood of her companions. Because what if these are very powerful people that have very powerful weapons that Sarah didn't take to help us because she wanted to have a laugh. She wanted to pull a prank. She wanted to have a little chuckle. And that's not really something I find very appealing, personally. I know that probably makes me, you know, someone's probably going to be like, oh, why don't you just lighten up and all that. But it's like, okay, if you want to have laughs, make sure there's nothing, like, dangerous or bad that could happen instead, just because you want to make yourself laugh. You know, if nobody else is laughing and you're just doing it to make yourself laugh, it's not really that funny. You know, you're supposed to... If you want to do something funny, you should do it to want to help make other people laugh, because that's usually a good thing. If you're just making yourself laugh, you're kind of being selfish and not really recognizing that there are some serious aspects to this that you should be concerned about. And it's one of those things about Sarah's character that annoys me.
All I know about you or your group is that I followed a random trail into a trap.
What trap? You knocked, he crapped. Look, it's like this. I sent you a note to look for hidden stuff by my friends. The Friends of Red Jenny. That's me. Well, I'm one. So is a fence in Montfort, some woman in Kirkwall. There were 3 in Starkhaven, brothers or something. It's just a name, yeah? It lets little people, friends, be part of something while they stick it to nobles they hate. So here, in your face, I'm Sarah. The Friends of Red Jenny are sort of out there. I use them to help you. Plus arrows.
The Inquisition has spies already. Can you add to these professionals?
Here's how it is. You important people are up here, shoving your cods around. Blah, blah, I'll crush you. Ooh, crush you. Then you've got cloaks and spy kings. Like this tit. Or was he one of the little knives, all serious with his little knife? All those secrets, and what gave him up? Some houseboy who don't know shite, but knows a bad person when he sees one. So no, I'm not knifey shiv dark, all hidden. If you don't listen down here too, you risk your breeches. Like those guards, I stole their... Look, do you need people or not? I want to get everything back to normal. Like you.
You sound like a thief who acts out petty revenge fantasies. And that might be bad?
Oh, right. You want to prop that guy up so I can say my sorries? Bad things should happen to bad people. We find someone not so bad, maybe he'll end up not so dead. Good enough?
You say that like it's obvious, but you didn't know him.
I knew about him.
That's just rumor.
Look, I'd have been fine stripping his guards and nicking his stuff. Turns out he deserved worse. Or was him trying to kill you a good thing? Are you the baddie? Didn't think so.
So who are your friends of Red Jenny? You must know them.
Oh, it's not hard to understand if you're not trying to waste your day on it. Someone little always hates someone big. And unless you don't eat, sleep, or piss, you're never far from someone little. Doesn't always work out, but a lot of people hated this guy. Someone got a laugh, someone got even, someone got paid. And someone has to have explained to them that free help is good.
And this is also another aspect of her that really starts to irritate me. When she starts getting irritated, she starts talking down to me. And I hate being talked down to as if I'm some kind of an idiot. You know? You're catching that, right? When she's responding just now? Plus, yeah, look. Obviously, the implication there was that guy was a pretty awful noble. Yeah. Part of the issue, though, is that we don't really get to know more about that. If we found out more about that, then my character would have been like, oh yeah, no, I'll help you out. I'll help you kill him, you know, if that's what he actually deserves. But part of the issue is that Sarah makes it seem like she only wants to do that. She says that they're bad people, but you'll notice that she mainly does that to people who are nobles. Like, she mainly just wants to do this as someone who... I don't want to get too much into this, because I don't want to make it seem as if this is some kind of, like, real-life equivalent, because I don't like to bring that stuff into my playthroughs and commentary and such. But almost like she is someone who wants to get back at those who are better off. You know, just because they're better off.
Back there you wanted to know if I glowed. Why?
That's what you do, innit? You walked out of somewhere, and now you glow. Andraste's herald. True or not, it seemed like the easiest way to know it was you.
True or not?
Well, that's what they say and all. Look, don't get ahead, yeah? I want to help this... whatever it is. Inquisition.
Like I said, I was very tempted to just simply say no. And then she leaves forever. That's how much I dislike this character. But she literally provides extra content and story content, including another aspect that I actually want to see if I can do later on. So, fine. But she's like... yeah.
Alright, Sarah. I can use you and your friends.
Yes! Getting good before you're too big to like. That'll keep your breeches where they should be. Plus extra breeches because I have all these... You have merchants who buy that piss, yeah? Got to be worth something. Anyway, Haven. See you there, Herald. This will be grand.
Also, if you're wondering if she looks a little different, then it's because, yes, I do have a mod that actually changes her complexion a bit.
I have heard that your books are very popular, Master Tethras.
I do all right.
I am glad of it.
Really? No sarcasm? No superior attitude?
We live in a dark and angry time, Child of the Stone. So much of what people believe has come crashing down. If you bring them a little peace with the worlds you make between the pages, you have done more than most.
So now... Actually, hold on. I guess we have to do this. Too many breaches. Lol. Gotta grab the resources. Like I told you, getting these resources is kind of important. So I guess we'll exit over here. Let's now go see Madame Vivienne. No, this part is kind of amusing. It's very Orlais.
Lady Adar of the Inquisition.
What a pleasure to meet you, my lady. Seeing the same faces at every event becomes so tiresome.
Ironic because of the masks.
So you must be a guest of Madame de Fer. Or are you here for Duc Bastien?
Are you here on business? I have heard the most curious tales of you. I cannot imagine half of them are true.
What have you heard about me?
Some say that when the veil opened, Andraste herself delivered you from the Fade.
I'm not familiar with that name. I was invited here by First Enchanter Vivienne.
Madame de Fer is a fond nickname the court has given Lady Vivienne.
I've heard she finds it amusing.
I've heard very little about Duc Bastien.
He hasn't been seen much at court lately.
His business with the Council of Heralds often takes him from home for long periods. It can't be good for a man of his years.
And of course, there's the Civil War. Bastien probably wishes to distance himself from the actions of his one-time son-in-law.
Tearing up the Dales in a foolish bid for power? It will end in disgrace for Gaspard. Everyone knows it.
I don't care what they say about me.
You should. The game has crushed far more powerful institutions than your Inquisition.
The Inquisition. What a lot of pig shit. Washed up sisters and crazed seekers. No one can take them seriously. Everyone knows it's just an excuse for a bunch of political outcasts to grab power.
I've never made any claims to holiness. What's your point?
In front of all these people, you admit to being a pretentious usurper. We know what your Inquisition truly is. If you were a woman of honor, you'd step outside and answer the charges.
My dear Marquis, how unkind of you to use such language in my house to my guests. You know such rudeness is intolerable.
Madame Vivienne, I humbly beg your pardon.
You should. Whatever am I going to do with you, my dear? My lady, you're the wounded party in this unfortunate affair. What would you have me do with this foolish, foolish man?
He insulted my honor. I want him dead.
And this, Marquis, is why one must always be courteous to one's fellow guests. Someone be a dear and clean this mess up. We can't have him cluttering up the dance floor. I'm delighted you could attend this little gathering. I've so wanted to meet you.
And that's how it goes in Orlais.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Vivienne, first Enchanter of Montsimard and Enchantress to the Imperial Court.
Can you get away with killing a nobleman like that?
He attempted to draw his weapon, unprovoked, in the presence of witnesses. Duels are not fought in the drawing room. By Chevalier Code, his life was forfeit from the moment his hand fell to his hilt.
Charmed, Lady Vivienne.
Ah, but I didn't invite you to the chateau for pleasantries. With Divine Justinia dead, the Chantry's in shambles. Only the Inquisition might restore sanity and order to our frightened people. As the leader of the last loyal mages of Thedas, I feel it only right that I lend my assistance to your cause.
Are you devout? What's your opinion of the Chantry?
I was a great admirer of the late Divine Justinia V. The Chantry, at its best, unites the disparate cultures of Thedas and looks after its most vulnerable. Had she lived, Justinia could have accomplished so much.
You are aware that the Chantry hasn't sanctioned this Inquisition.
The Chantry is leaderless. They're in no position to officially sanction anything. Besides, my dear, if there is one virtue the Chant of Light teaches us, it is forgiveness. Once the Inquisition has sealed the breach, I am sure the new Divine will not care in the slightest about official permission.
What exactly can you do for the Inquisition?
I am well versed in the politics of the Orlesian Empire. I know every member of the Imperial Court personally.
Oh,
I have
my
all
poor
the
dear.
resources remaining to the Circle at my disposal. And I'm a mage of no small talent. Will that do?
Yeah, if you've looked into the Orlesian politics, her saying, I know every member of the Imperial Court personally, it's like you just want to go, oh, my dear, I am so sorry that you have to endure that.
Does that mean you'd be aiding the Inquisition from the Imperial Palace?
Ordinarily, I would be happy to serve as liaison to the court, but these are not ordinary times. The veil has been ripped apart and there is a hole in the sky. It is now the duty of every mage to work towards sealing the breach. And so I would join the Inquisition on the field of battle.
You say you led the last of the loyal mages. Loyal to whom?
To the people of Thedas, of course. We have not forgotten the commandment, as some have, that magic exists to serve man. I support any effort to restore such order.
So you're in favor of returning the mages to the Circle, then?
Where else can mages safely learn to master their talents? We need an institution to protect and nurture magic. Maker knows, magic will find neither on its own.
I would love it if my character here would have a response such as, well, I was able to learn to utilize my magic and abilities safely without ever having to step foot in a circle. Just saying.
What's in this for you?
The same thing anyone gets by fighting this chaos. The chance to meet my enemy, to decide my fate. I won't wait quietly for destruction.
The Inquisition will be happy to have you, Lady Vivian.
Great things are beginning, my dear. I can promise you that.
Like I said, Vivian's kind of a mixed bag for me because she does have some genuinely nice and great moments that I like. One of my personal favorites is in Trespasser when she's like, you've taken out that wonderful dwarf out, haven't you? Like, and she's talking about Harding. And she is expected that after the years that pass, that we would have taken her out by now. And she's like, oh, you should absolutely. Of course, you have taken her out, haven't you? And treated her to absolutely wonderful. Like, she's very much like that. And that's a part of her I do kind of very much like. However, then there are times where she will come across as, like I said, she will talk down to us as if she's like wagging her finger at our face. Like, Yeah. Yeah, like I said, mixed bag. So anyways, that's kind of why, you can also see that's why I want to do that order, because now we're back in Haven. So anyways, and looks like some things have moved around, such as Cullen is now over there, so we will have some more talks around Haven to do when we return. Also, I may head back to Val Royeaux just to finish going around looking at all this stuff. But yeah, stay tuned.